Welcome to Shri Chakradhar Education. Every year, thousands of IGNOU projects get rejected, not because the research was weak, but because the student never properly read one single document, the official IGNOU project guidelines. So here is your direct answer first. IGNOU project guidelines are the official rulebook that governs your entire project journey. Q. Topic selection, synopsis approval, the supervisor, the project report, submission, Viva, and evaluation. Every project-based program has its own guidelines document, and following it is mandatory, not optional. How serious is this? The official guidelines themselves carry a clear warning. Violation of the project guidelines will lead to the rejection of the project at any stage. That means your project can be stopped at the synopsis stage, at the report stage, or even during evaluation. In the next 25 minutes, you will learn exactly what the guidelines say, where to download your program's official document, the synopsis and approval rules, the supervisor rules, the report and originality rules, the submission, evaluation, Viva and passing marks rules, and the 10 guideline violations that get IGNOU projects rejected most often. Let us begin with the most misunderstood point of all. There is no single, universal IGNOU project guideline. Each program has its own official document. The MBA project follows the MMPP 001 guidelines. The MCom project follows the MCOP 001 guidelines. The MLIS dissertation follows MLIP 002. The rules that apply to you are the rules written in your own program's document. Now the good news, every IGNOU project guidelines document follows the same basic skeleton. It defines the objective of the project, the overall approach, topic selection, the synopsis or project proposal, supervisor eligibility, synopsis submission and approval, the project report requirements, and the evaluation scheme. Master this framework once, and any program's guidelines become easy to read. So the golden principle of this entire video is simple. Guidelines first, work second. Download your official document, read it twice, and only then start your project. I am B.K. Sani, founder of Shri Chakradhar Education and IGNOUproject.com. Since 2010, we have guided more than 5 lakh IGNOU students through their assignments, projects, synopses, and dissertations. Everything you will hear now comes from official IGNOU guidelines and program guides. And wherever a rule changes from program to program, I will tell you clearly so you can verify your own document on ignou.ac.in. Step 1. Get your official guidelines document and get it from the right place. There are 4 official sources. First, your study material itself. Many programs send the project manual or guidelines booklet along with your printed blocks. Second, the official website, ignou.ac.in. Open your school's page and look under projects or program details. Third, your program guide. In many programs, the project guidelines sit inside the program guide as a dedicated chapter or annexure. Fourth, eGyanKosh, the official digital repository of IGNOU. Here is a simple search tip. Type your program name, your project course code, and the words project guidelines. Then check 2 things before you trust the file. The PDF should be hosted on an official IGNOU domain, and it should be the latest version applicable to your admission session. Now, which document is yours? In Management and Commerce, the MBA project uses MMPP 001, the MCom project uses MCOP 001, the MCA project uses MCSP codes, and the BCA project uses BCSP 064. In other popular programs, MLIS uses MLIP 002, MA Psychology uses MPCE 016, 026, or 036, depending on your specialization. Tourism Masters use MTTM 16, and the Bachelor of Tourism uses PTS 4, 5, and 6. MSc Environmental Science uses MEVP 011. Education uses MESP 001. And Rural Development uses MRDP 001. Whatever your program is, the pattern is the same. One project code, one guidelines document. Once the document is in your hands, check 6 numbers first: the credits of the project course, the marks split between report and Viva, the synopsis word limit, the supervisor eligibility, the submission authority, and the submission deadlines. And one quick reality check. What IGNOU officially gives you is the guidelines and a proposal Proforma. Never a ready-made project to copy. We have a complete separate video on IGNOU project samples and how to use them safely. The link is in the description. So remember, your program's document is your rulebook. Every line in it is treated as compulsory by the evaluator. Now let us open that rulebook section by section. Section 1 of the rulebook. The synopsis and approval rules. Rule number 1. Registration comes first. You can submit your project proposal only after you are registered for the project course of your program, MCom, and the approval is linked to your enrollment number. The official MBA guidelines even state that if your maximum program duration is over, you must take readmission first. And a synopsis approved on the old enrollment number must be approved again on the new one. Rule number 2. The topic rules. You can choose any topic of your own, but it must sit inside your discipline, and preferably inside your specialization. The guidelines advise a micro-focused topic, something you can complete within your time and resources. For example, a title like A Study on Employee Retention in the Hospitality Sector is focused and researchable, and always finalize the topic in discussion with your supervisor. Rule number 3. What the synopsis must contain: the title, the rationale or why the topic matters, clear objectives, the research methodology including your sample and tools, limitations if any, and a tentative chapter plan with preliminary references. The word limit varies by program. Some science programs ask for around 500 to 700 words. Management programs allow longer. So check your own document. Rule number 4. The proposal Proforma. Your synopsis travels with an official Proforma for approval. The Proforma must be filled correctly in all respects, with the duly signed biodata of your supervisor and the synopsis enclosed. The official guidelines are blunt here. Proposals incomplete in any respect will not be accepted. Rule number 5. And this is the single most important rule in the entire video. No project work before approval. The official MMPP 001 guidelines state that only on the approval of the synopsis can the project work actually be taken up. Do not collect data, do not write chapters, do not spend money on binding until the approval is in your hands. Rule number 6. Where the synopsis goes varies. Some programs routed through the regional center, some through the school or program coordinator, and online programs submitted through the LMS portal. Your own guidelines name the exact authority. And our separate IGNOU project submission video walks through the process step by step. Rule number 7. If the synopsis is rejected, do not panic. Read the evaluator's comments, revise the proposal accordingly, and resubmit it. Attaching the earlier non-approved Proforma where your program asks for it. And remember, if you change your topic or your supervisor at any later stage, a fresh approval becomes necessary. So the approval chain is fixed. Register. Choose a focus topic. Write the synopsis. Complete the Proforma. Get the approval. Only then start the work. Section 2 of the Rulebook. The supervisor rules and the project report rules. First, the supervisor snapshot. Every IGNOU project must be done under an eligible supervisor, and eligibility is defined inside your guidelines. A required qualification plus relevant experience. For example, the MBA guidelines accept management faculty or professionals holding a master's degree with at least 5 years of experience in the relevant area. In many programs, one supervisor can guide a maximum of 5 students at a time, and the supervisor's signed biodata and consent are mandatory with your proposal. We have a full separate video on choosing an eligible IGNOU project guide. Link in the description. Now the report rules. Report rule number 1. The report must be based on your approved proposal. Same topic, same objectives, same methodology. The official upload instructions repeat this clearly. The project report is expected to be prepared on the approved project proposal. A major deviation between the synopsis and the report is a direct rejection risk. Report rule number 2. Length and format vary by program. Word counts and page counts are program specific. Many reports fall between roughly 5,000 and 15,000 words, while some dissertations go much higher. So take the figure only from your own document. What stays common is the physical standard. A4 size paper, neatly typed, properly spaced and bound. For the complete page setup, chapter skeleton and APA referencing, watch our dedicated IGNOU project format video. Report rule number 3. The mandatory enclosures. Before binding, your report must contain the approved proposal Proforma in original, the approved synopsis, the biodata of your guide, and an originality certificate signed by both you and your guide. The official guidelines warn that a report received without any of these documents will be returned to the student. Next, the originality rules. The synopsis and the report must be your own original work. Copied synopses and copied project reports are forwarded to the Unfair Means Committee of the University for action. That is an official warning, not a scare tactic. Treat plagiarism as a hard red line. And 2 small but costly rules. Send only 1 copy of the project report, exactly as your guidelines direct, and always retain a complete copy with yourself, because the submitted report is not returned to the student after evaluation. So on the report side, the checklist is short and strict. Follow the approved proposal, respect your program's length and format, bind every mandatory enclosure, and keep the work 100% original. Section 3 of the Rulebook. Submission windows, evaluation, Viva, and the passing rules. The submission rules first. IGNOU project submission runs in 2 cycles linked to the June and December term-end exams. The commonly notified last dates fall around the 31st of May for the June cycle and the 30th of November for the December cycle. But always verify the current notification for your session. Many programs now submit online through the official project portal. 2 official warnings here: reports sent by email are never accepted, and incomplete online submissions are removed from the portal once the last date is over. After submission, the university allots a PR number, your project reference number. Keep it safe because it is your proof of submission and your tracking key. The full step-by-step process, addresses and tracking is covered in our IGNOU project submission video. Now the evaluation rules. Your project is evaluated in 2 components: the project report and the Viva Voce. The split varies by program. Several programs follow a 70-30 style split between report and Viva, while the computer programs evaluate the report out of 150 marks and the Viva out of 50. Your own guidelines state your exact scheme. Read that page carefully. The Viva rules are simple and non-negotiable. The Viva Voce is a mandatory oral examination, usually arranged through your regional center, where the evaluator confirms that the work is genuinely yours. If you skip the Viva, the project is treated as incomplete, and no marks are awarded no matter how good the report is. Now the passing rules. Listen to this carefully. The project is a separately passed component. Your theory marks can never compensate for a failed project. For most programs, the minimum is 40%, but several programs set it at 50%. For example, the MLIS dissertation and the computer projects, where you must score 50% separately in the report and in the Viva. And IGNOU does not normally apply grace marks to projects. Verify your own program's figure before you plan anything. One rule students discover too late: the evaluation fee. In several programs, a project or practical evaluation fee is paid along with the term-end exam form. If that fee is not paid, the project is simply not evaluated. Check whether this applies to your program. And finally, the resubmission rules. If the project is unsuccessful or rejected, you can revise the same project by following the evaluator's comments, or take up a completely different project. A new topic or a new guide means a fresh synopsis approval. And if your program validity has expired, re-registration comes first. So nothing here is random. Submit inside the window. Pay the fee where it applies. Attend the Viva. Cross the minimum separately. And if something fails, the guidelines already give you the recovery route. Now the section that saves marks. The 10 guideline violations that get IGNOU projects rejected most often. Violations 1 to 5. 1. Starting the project work before the synopsis is approved. 2. Choosing a topic outside your discipline or a topic too vague to research. 3. An incomplete proposal Proforma with missing signatures or missing biodata. 4. An ineligible supervisor or a supervisor's consent not enclosed. 5. Copied or plagiarized content which can go straight to the Unfair Means Committee. Violation 6 to 10. 6. Ignoring the prescribed format of your program. 7. Missing mandatory enclosures like the originality certificate or the approved Proforma. 8. Submitting after the last date of the cycle. 9. Skipping the Viva voce. And 10. A mismatch between the approved synopsis and the final report. Avoid these 10, and you have removed almost every common rejection reason. Now 3 judgment questions students always ask. First, are IGNOU project guidelines the same for every program? No, the skeleton is the same, but the numbers, credits, word limits, mark split, passing percentage, submission authority, change from program to program. That is exactly why you must read your own document. Second, can I start my project while the approval is pending? As per the official guidelines, no. The work is taken up only on approval of the synopsis. And third, is the Viva compulsory? In project-based IGNOU programs? Yes, the Viva is a mandatory part of the evaluation, and missing it leaves the project incomplete. And the biggest judgment question of all. Do guidelines really affect marks? Absolutely yes. Evaluators check compliance before they judge your content. A guideline-perfect project clears approval faster, avoids returns, and enters evaluation with a positive impression. Following the guidelines is the cheapest, most reliable way to protect your marks. So treat the guidelines document like a checklist, not a formality. Every rule you tick is one rejection reason you have eliminated. Before we finish, quick answers to the most searched questions on IGNOU project guidelines. Question 1. Where do I download the official IGNOU project guidelines? From ignou.ac.in, your school's page, your program guide, or eGyanKosh? Always from an official IGNOU source. Question 2. What are the minimum passing marks for an IGNOU project? Commonly 40%, but some programs require 50%, and the project must be passed separately. Question 3. What happens if my synopsis is rejected? You revise it as per the evaluator's comments and resubmit. Rejection is a delay, not the end. Question 4. Can I change my topic after approval? Yes, but a new topic or a new guide needs a fresh synopsis approval. Question 5. Is there one common guideline for all IGNOU projects? No. Every program has its own project code and its own official document. Question 6. What if I miss the submission deadline? Your report moves to the next cycle. Just make sure your program validity is still alive and verify the current dates on ignou.ac.in. Let us lock the 7 master rules of IGNOU project guidelines. 1. Download your program's own official document. 2. No project work before synopsis approval. 3. Complete Proforma, sign biodata, original synopsis. 4. The report must follow the approved proposal. 5. Bind every mandatory enclosure and stay fully original. 6. Submit inside the cycle and attend the Viva. 7. Cross the minimum mark separately and verify every date on ignou.ac.in. Your next steps are ready on this channel. Watch our IGNOU project format video for the complete page setup and chapter structure. The IGNOU project submission video for the exact process and tracking. The IGNOU project sample video to see what a finished document looks like. And the IGNOU project guide video to choose an eligible supervisor. If this video made the official rules clear, subscribe to Shri Chakradhar Education. We publish honest, research-backed IGNOU guidance. For personal help with your project or synopsis, message us on WhatsApp at 935-4637-830 or visit ignouproject.com. This is BK Sani, guiding IGNOU students since 2010. Read the guidelines once, and your project clears in the first attempt. All the best.